Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 90% podcast. My name is Nick Iula.
I'm Mike Iula.
And today we have a very special episode for you guys. We have our very first guest. And he's a really close friend of ours. And we are super excited to have him on. Without further ado, Tyler Lopresti.
Woo!
Hooray!
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend,
T-Lo.
Appreciate y'all having me on. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, now we're all set. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming on to our show.
Of course. I'm glad to be on here.
This is an unprecedented day.
It is. We didn't really think we were going to have guests on, but, you know, a couple episodes in, we realized we needed someone awesome to start, and who better than a great friend like you?
I appreciate that, guys, a lot. Means
Yeah.
a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. We go way back. When did we meet? How long ago has it been now? Like what?
It's been 8 years. Almost 8 years. 7, 8 years.
Makes you want to throw up a little bit thinking
It
about
does. Makes me feel old, bro. Like, I feel like I have gray hairs coming in already when I check myself.
I mean, I'm losing my hair, so.
Yeah, dude. Like, holy hell. Almost 8 years, it feels like.
I know.
Time's just flowing by, man.
Just happened so fast.
Yo,
huh?
kids out there that are watching, don't get old.
Yeah, don't get old.
Yeah, just don't get old. And you look great. It's all good.
Appreciate that.
You look like you've been bulking up in the gym, so that's awesome.
I've been working out. You know, one of my New Year's resolutions was, to hit the gym consistently, and, working out, I feel like it's hard to do it on your own because having the motivation and having the effort, it's easy to say, I'll just put it off to tomorrow,
Literally.
rather than like to actually go. And once you keep going and you make it a habit, like there's no other way. You have to like make sure you go every single day.
Right.
And I can't thank our good friend Dustin, who's actually taken me, under his wing. Even though I'm probably stronger than him now, but he, in the beginning, like I work out here and there, but I'm all natural.
Yeah.
Like I got my physique naturally from doing like,
Yeah.
chores as well as like work outside of my house.
Yeah, all right.
Not as much as
I
like
know all about it.
Yeah.
But for the people that don't know all about you, why don't you just take a moment to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Tyler Lopresti, if you guys didn't know that. I'm a 19-year-old kid from Nassau, New York. I'm a sophomore at SUNY Oneonta, and I am majoring in professional accounting.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah. He has goals and aspirations. We're doing a podcast in the basement.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, this is for us.
We're here to entertain. Yeah, so why don't we just kind of start by talking about really how we first met. So do you recall how we first met?
How we first met? Okay, so I met Mike before I met Nick. I met Mike 7th grade in the summertime at modified football practice, the first ever practice. We were all there. I didn't really know anybody. I knew like maybe like one other person who was from my grade that joined the team. But the coaches like kind of split us into like individual like position groups and stuff like that. And we were doing drills, and as soon as we started, I remember like clear as day, I was like sitting on the ground like tying my shoe. Our good friend Jaden came over, introduced himself to me and as well as Mike, and I met Mike for the very first time.
Wow. I remember that day so fondly, and I just, as far as I remember it, I remember you coming to me, and you just kind of stuck your hand out and went, "Hey, I'm Tyler." And I feel like you did that for a lot of the people on the team, but for some reason, when you said it to me, it felt pretty special, and we just seemed to have kind of a bond. Maybe it had a little bit to do with the fact that we were both relatively the same size. I'd played the year prior because we are on 2 different grades. Tyler's a grade below Nick and I, but that's what kind of makes this friendship even more cool is the fact that like sometimes you assume best friends would be in the same age group. But yeah, Tyler's always been a grade below us, and we're still tight as we were from the first day we met. So yeah, it's been great. And since then, I mean, we've learned so much about each other, and we've had so many great memories. But that was really the the moment that kickstarted the entire friendship.
Yeah, I mean, all comes down to football, and I mean, us boys, we all love football, and I feel like that's something that we can always talk about. Any given point of the day, we could talk for hours and hours and hours on end, just about football in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have other aspirations and other things that we like, but football is like the main thing that kind of brought all of us together, I feel like.
I would say so too.
Yeah, it's interesting because I met you through Mike, and this is kind of how the stories go when we meet a lot of people. It's like, especially throughout school, every time you met somebody or I met somebody, it was always an interesting thing and dynamic for people to meet. You know, whoever they didn't meet. Like if
Exactly.
if I was friends with somebody and vice versa. But
And it's also like one of the craziest culture shocks. Like when we have like friends that we meet when we're
Yeah.
not together, and then we introduce them, be like, "Oh yeah, this is my twin Nick," or "This is my twin Michael," and they're always like, "Oh, I had
Yeah.
no clue."
because we don't say anything, we like
Yeah, exactly.
because obviously we want to be our own personalities. But it is funny when people are around, each other, and especially with you. You played football, and I didn't play football back in this was like middle school. So yeah, you had the 7th and 8th grade teams and modified or whatever, and you and I weren't friends per se, but I knew of you for about a year or two, and I hadn't seen you in a while. But then you joined track, and I ran track, and that's kind of where we got a closer bond. So that's how we kind of met, right?
Yeah, so I remember Mike introduced me one day after practice. It was some practice ended or whatever. You were there with, I think it was like your mom or something, and I met your mom and I met you for the very first time. And, we kind of met, we talked for a little bit. I remember we like made jokes. My mom was there, I feel like, and we like talked or whatever. It was very short, but I didn't really see you much during school just because how of like middle school setup and how it works. Like you rarely see like the lower classmen unless like it's lunchtime or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But even then, like you rarely see like any other groups. So for me, I never really saw you in school, and like we didn't really talk as much as Mike and I because we obviously were on the same team and we have practice and stuff. So we should just always talk.
True. Yeah, and it was funny because like as time went on, friends would come and go, but here it is, 8 years strong, and like we're really good friends.
It's
It
crazy.
is kind of cool. And outside of the three of us, we also have a pretty close knit friend group. And we I think it's kind of rare, right? How friend groups stay together, kind of straight through college. With early grade school and stuff. Obviously, you have your friends based on like your school districts, and it's not to say, even with our grade, that people aren't still friends to this day. Because I know of people, particularly, who probably played sports pretty young, and they're still good friends as well. But even though we met in middle school, it is kind of cool because every now and then, outside of that like high school element and with college, people move on with their lives, and like here we are, just in the peak of our late teenage years, and we're 20 now, so it is kind of wild. We've had some crazy memories over the last 8 years, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could go on and on. We could probably write a whole book about them, honestly. We could make a
Yeah.
whole series about
There's no real telling what we could do as far as all the things we've done together. But want to make kind of a transition here. So we, as close friends, originally we called you T-Lo. That's your nickname. Obviously, it's short for Tyler Lopresti, right? But I want to ask you and just give you the platform to explain kind of where the whole T-Lo nickname came from and why you think it stuck.
Okay, so we're going back to modified football. On the team in my 7th grade year. For whatever reason, like during the 2001s, parents just love to name their kid Tyler. I literally don't understand. Like
so many times.
I could name probably 10 to 12 kids between my grade and your grade that were named Tyler.
I know.
Yeah. And we're all some of them are friends too. It's
Right,
like,
some of them are our friends
Yeah.
too. And what's crazy is there was about 5 or 6 of them on the team.
Oh, I know. I remember in modified football. We had like so many Tylers, and I can kind of see why and where you're going with this.
Yeah, so the coaches couldn't say Tyler because we were all Tyler and we would all look at the coaches, regardless of whoever they were actually speaking to. So they had to, diversify the name and give us all nicknames. So they basically just took the first letter of our first name and then like whatever our last name was, they took like 2 letters or something.
Mhm.
So there was like Tino, there was like I can't remember the other ones,
Yeah.
but then I was Tilo. And that one just kind of stuck. And for whatever reason, that name quickly got spread around school.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone just called me Tilo. Nobody called me Tyler anymore besides teachers. Everybody else called me Tilo. Till now, even. I mean, I have coworkers that call me Tilo. And it's kind of weird because, like, some of them I didn't go to school with, but they call me Tilo. And it's like, wow. Like, this name just blew up out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Literally, I feel like there's been definitely times where I'm associating you in a story or telling somebody about you or whatever, and people are always like, "What's Tilo?" or "Who's Tilo?" And obviously, it doesn't take a lot to explain it, but it's weird, kind of how that nickname has slipped through the grapevine through all these years, and even people that you don't even necessarily associate you with the nickname, and it's kind of powerful just to see how that's transitioned from something so minimalistic because you had so many Tylers on a modified football team, and here we are like years later, and that's the one that really stuck.
Yeah, I know. I mean, hey, I love the nickname. I don't really care if people call me Tilo. I mean, that's all people associate with me now is just Tilo and, like, sports. I feel like that's just, like, the whole, like, camaraderie, I guess, about it. And
Right.
so, hey, I mean, I don't mind it. At some point, it's going to die, but, like, I'm enjoying the
Tilo will
moment right
never
now.
die.
Yeah,
I mean-
that'll be the catch. Tilo never dies.
It'll literally be in your gravestone one day. Tilo.
It probably will, honestly. Can't lie.
T-Lo.
I might even have it tattooed on me. We'll see what happens.
That would be sick.
We all get tattoos. It'd be funny. And with as our friend group grew too, it's funny how we've all developed our nicknames. And it's a funny thing. It's like Jade, we kind of shortened the J, and then I got a bunch of them. You got Nico, Suave. You know,
Nico sauce.
You want to talk about
Nico
Agent
sauce.
A?
Agent A. Yeah. We got a whole bunch we get into with him. Mike, I feel like we don't really have one for Mike. I think Mike or Mikey.
Michael Motorcycle.
Mike or Moses. Nah.
None of
that
those
one-
stick. I feel like that's a great point to bring up. I feel like with all of our good friends, we got Bob, we got Dustball, Jay,
Mm-hmm.
Tilo, Nico,
We got Dante.
Dante's. What the fuck is Dante?
I don't know.
It's so nice off the tongue. It's perfect how it is.
Yeah, it is. Dante. Dante and I just never got nicknames.
Neither did Adam either.
Yeah, well. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, these are obviously all of our close friends that we've gone to school with for many, many years. We call ourselves the Brother Bears. It's just been one of those things that always stuck, and we obviously have nicknames, and I'm sure as the podcasts go on, we'll introduce each and every one of them. So,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy about it is that most people, they say in high school, like, oh, you want to be the popular kid and everything. As soon as you graduate and you walk through on that stage, you get that diploma, you shake everybody's hands, all that just goes away. The people that you thought were close friends, it gets depleted by about 90%. Not
For
trying to
real.
make a pun with 90%
Yeah.
podcast, but
Yeah.
it's
90%.
true. It's true. I mean, I'm thankful that, like, the 7 of us are still as close as we've been. And, like, even though we're starting to go our separate ways, we still have made time to stay close as well as
Yeah.
talk and communicate with one another.
Mhm.
And, like, a lot of people look up to our friend group, kind of. Like, I know there's lower classmen that look up to us like, wow, like, you guys are all still great friends after so many years.
Oh, I know. I kind of through all the years in high school was always trying to figure out why personally I always wanted to have this great outlook on all these people and influence all these people and have these different friend groups and stuff. And I feel like with age and maturity, you realize that a lot of those things don't truly matter, and what really matters are the people that you really have a tight niche friend group with. And I think it starts with a really good base, and that's what we established over the years. It's just having a lot of things in common, keeping a consistent group chat all these years.
Yeah.
We've had some moments in there, And, we've had some friends come and go here and there, but for the most part, we've always had kind of this consistent base of a friend group. And I feel like I've kind of taken it for granted over the years. And you see a lot of these kids that go away to school and, you have your friend groups, but they meet new people. And for us, we all, had that moment a couple years ago where we went and we met different people. But for the most part, our real close friends, the ones we're going to hang out with on the weekend, it's going to be the Brother Bears, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, but they'll probably talk about it when they're on the show, but two of our good friends actually got an apartment, and now that's our new hangout spot.
Oh, it's been great.
We used to hang out right here in this basement
Yeah.
years ago, all the time. I mean, we had there's so many fond memories that we could just talk about, but we'll probably talk about that another time.
Yeah. We were young.
Yeah, we were young. Everyone's young at once.
You were 16 at one point, I'm sure. If you're not 16, I'm not sure why you're watching this, but whatever.
Oh,
the good old times.
That's true. Well, I think our mom's just happy that we're, we don't hang out here anymore. And she was great. She really loved hosting and celebrating anything that we would accomplish, whether we were coming from track meets, football games, whatever, or we just wanted to hang out before we had our license. She would always carpool us and have us pick up our friends or whatever. And I think it was really cool how she allowed us to have sleepovers and do whatever we kind of really wanted to, within parameters and rules, obviously. But
yeah, Michelle was a very nice lady. I mean, she still is a nice lady as well.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the nicest person that I've ever met as a, mom. And I don't know, she was just super nice and, welcomed all of us into her home as her own.
Even during the times where we would mess up and do things we weren't supposed to be doing, she gave us multiple opportunities and chances to redeem ourselves as far as those things go.
For sure.
Read the room, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I think it's cool too because I would say if you look around, not too many friend groups stay together per se. And I guess my question is why do you think a lot of friend groups fail? And what makes us so different from everybody else? Is it our interests or is it our differences? What is it? Do opposites attract in that sense? Because we all have our own hobbies and stuff. And we can probably elaborate on those things, but I guess just in terms of us staying together, that longevity of a friend group, it is unique. I mean, we've had some fights here and there, and they come and go. And, you throw those things under the bridge, and you learn that it takes two to fight the same way to make up. And it is cool that we're at a place where, we can confidently say, I think this is the strongest our friend group's ever been. Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree. I mean, I feel like in friendships, you need to have diversity. Everybody's got to bring a little something. You guys bring creativity. You guys are very creative, artistic. I mean, you guys can build or draw almost anything that comes to your mind, and you're just so creative in the way that, you can make things. You made this a podcast.
Right.
Creative with, making it 90% because your mom, you guys can elaborate. I don't know if you elaborated on that already.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Already.
funny from your perspective, so you could say.
Right. So, you guys, 90%ers, you do stuff 90% and don't give the extra 10%. And, me, I bring kind of, that funny, vibe. I'm always the goofy one. I think I'm probably the goofiest in the whole group.
Yeah.
And I really just don't care what I do or, how much of a fool I make of myself. But I just
Right.
kind of do that. Jay's more of, the captain or we call leader of the
real.
group.
Yeah.
I mean,
keeps us glued
He
in.
kind of keeps us glued together as well as make sure everybody's okay and stuff. Dante brings a side where doesn't matter when, where, or what we're doing, he's down for almost anything.
Yes,
If
man.
You literally just
Mr. Yes Man.
Mr. Yes Man. Adam's the guy. He doesn't care either. He's the athletic one. He's yo, let's go run a game. Let's go to the field. Dustin brings another camaraderie. I mean, the dude's hilarious too. He's just as funny as I am. He's maybe even funnier than me, to be honest.
Yeah, that kid is so funny.
And he's just such a great time. And he's another thing because, so he's not as much into football, but he brings another diverse into the group with him liking sports in general. And, like, he'll play basketball, he'll come play football, spike ball, whatever.
Right.
But we met him through track, which is cool because that leads us to other groups that we, hang out with from time to time. And it's just, like, nice to have, like, somebody that's different from our, like,
Exactly.
I guess you want to say, like, our, like, interests.
Right. And that's a good point, is like what makes this Brother Bears thing so unique to me is like, yes, we did, for the most part, a lot of us ran track together. But when you think about a lot of friendships that establish, usually it's like, oh, yeah, we all played baseball, or like we were all basketball players, or a lot of friendships established through sports, or, oh, yeah, we all went to the same elementary school. For all of us that are real close right now at 21 years old, the only real thing that keeps us as a tied is the fact that we went to the same high school. But for the most part, none of us were friends up until 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
Literally, like, you think about it, the kids that you were hanging out with in grade school, like, a lot of those people become lifelong friends. And for all of us to have, like, such a great friendship right now, it's cool, pretty insane to me that, like, it started so late, you know what I mean? But I mean, hey, sometimes they say that you don't find your closest friends until you're 35 years old, you know what I mean? But, like, hey, I guess we were just lucky, right?
We were, like, I'm very fortunate I've met you guys. I can't even lie.
Yeah. We've just had so much fun to this point. And yeah, so yeah, that just kind of goes to show how, like, strong our bond was, right? Because if it wasn't for all those great moments, starting with football and then track and all these things, these accolades that were individual performances led to, a formidable friendship, right? And I feel like that's kind of really what established us as, like, a very great group of friends. And, this is kind of what I always, like, look back on to be like, okay, why are we still as tight of friends as we were? And it was because we did great things together young, and we're doing great things together right now, and
moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. So
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And that's just a testament to, like, how much fun we're having and the loyalty that we have for one another. And it's just been really awesome having you on. And let us know down below in the comment section what you guys think of Tyler, our best friend. Let us know if you want to see him on a future podcast, because we can pretty much assure you he will be on another one. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe to his channel as well, if you want to just go ahead and plug that for you.
Yeah, so like I said, again, it's Tilo. It's capital T, capital L, lowercase o. It's pretty short and sweet. I'll be posting content pretty soon here. I've took a little break just because of school, but I mean, look forward to the videos coming in May and June with all these boys that I have sitting right next to me, as well as the other friends that we, named previously in this podcast. There's a whole bunch of things I want to do, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content.
Yeah, exactly. And look forward to plenty more stories with the likes of the names that we had just spoken of. We can guarantee you that there'll be some stuff that you'll definitely want to hear, so please subscribe for more.
Yeah. That's it, folks. This has been the 90% podcast. We are so thankful that you stayed and listened to us babble on about our friendships. Thank you for coming on, Tilo. We are so happy that you did. Until next time, guys, peace out.
Peace.